I just had a launch on Moonbeam, which is the Polkadot ecosystem. So Moonbeam is an Ethereum compatible, EVM compatible version where you can run Solidity um, on Polkadot, which is great because
Oh my God. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh
yeah,
my God. I
so
had no idea that that was the representation of Polkadot.
it is. So that's Polkadot, and they have a very vibrant ecosystem. So we're very happy to be there, and I think we're going to help them and bring more users to the EVM compatible Polkadot branch of their chain. Now, Cosmos uh, is doing something similar with Evmos. So Evmos EVM OS, right? That's Cosmos, right? So Cosmos is one of the I think they had this thing called Tendermint, and Tendermint was used by the Luna guys to create Terra Luna blockchain. So when they did their blockchain, they used Cosmos. And so Cosmos since then developed EVM compatible branch they call Evmos, and that's where we launched Zen.
And they don't do this stuff on so basically they create a compatible separate layer one so that people can interact between the two.
Yeah, I think what it is that they realize that they really need Solidity support, and so they create a branch that syncs up to their core, and it allows anybody who is willing to put their contracts or their DeFi right there.
Jack, everyone's wondering, were you just on the bench press?
I was.
Yes. See, Jack is not stressed right now, guys. He's just doing his daily routine. I think it's important to recognize that too. Like, it's hard to work out when you're really excited about stuff, but you probably want to fit that into your routine so you have some kind of stability in your brain.
Yeah, yeah. I was doing some squats and some pull-ups, and then I was checking with the guys how the launch is going, making sure everything's good. Looks like it went pretty well. Already like over 2,000 wallets used on Moonbeam, and I think Evmos is also going to be interesting. So far, 11 million wallets have participated in Zen protocol in the last 9 days, 8 to 9 days, which is incredible. Altogether, 9 million. I mean, 11 million, 11. I mean, if you were to ask me that a month ago or 2 weeks ago, I would say, no way it's going to happen. It will take a year, maybe longer. But 9 days, 11 million. Pretty
It's very
crazy.
much a representation of where the market is at and how the market's reacting, whether or not it's a bot or a human or an alien or a puppy. It doesn't really matter. It's creating energy. You know what I mean?
Well,
And everything is super stagnant on Uniswap. So that's what we all noticed right away. Like, wow, Uniswap lit up like a Christmas tree. Everything else aside, because let's be honest, Ethereum is a market for guys that have a little bit of money. If you look at the transactions per dollar, and it lit up that chart, being that the gas fees are a little more expensive, like a Christmas tree. I've never seen anything like it. I didn't watch as closely the other launches just because I don't know the other blockchains as well, other than ETH But oh my gosh, it's changed my life almost just as a perspective thing. Like I'm like, oh my God, really? This whole dynamic is it was lulling and I was getting confused by the law, but really I see what the market is looking for a little bit now more.
yeah. Yeah, I think we're seeing the gas prices coming down a little bit, and you were able to mint uh, using $2.50 over the weekend, which is not a lot. I mean, $2.50. You can mint for 400 days, and you will make millions and millions of Zen in 400 days. Or you can do 100 days, 10 days, doesn't matter. And obviously, I think so far, Polygon has been so hot because you can mint for like 3 to 5 cents, and we've been running more than half of all of their transactions on Polygon, which is crazy.
And remember, guys, this is like an ERC 20. So it's important to remember that. isn't it? Like this is an ERC20, right? Like no matter what,
Yeah,
to
yeah,
a
yeah.
degree.
It is the most basic ERC20 you can imagine. I mean, of course, it links to all of the other libraries. It has a pretty extensive math library. It has a lot of other requirements and includes that are coming from open source stuff that people developed. So the contract itself pretty much just has the business logic, but it controls all of the features that ERC20 has been developed over the last 5, 6, 7 years. So yeah, and logarithmic functions we're using, they're working really well. We're already seeing the disinflation. So like in other words, on day one you were able to mint 60,000 Zen. Now it's kind of like 50 to 55,000 per day.
That's incredible. I'm sorry, that's incredible. That's incredible. I didn't think it would be that fast. I thought it would take
It's
a hair of a time frame longer, like just like, but it just really lit up because of the action. And now I'm going to highlight a few points. Now you're doing compatible bot usage for the average person and making that doable for the average guy who thinks that, wow, that's overwhelming, right?
yes. So I think to anybody who is listening, I think the definition of a bot is really misrepresented here. A bot usually waits for some event and it executes the program based on the event it waits for. Now, when you're using multiple wallets with Zen, which is perfectly appropriate because we all have multiple wallets, if you can script uh, or use a program to execute across the wallets, you still need to fund those wallets. Like you have to do a lot of work to do this. Like if you
Yeah.
have 1,000
That's why
wallets,
I tell people I don't even do it, Jack. I'm lazy. I love to study, but I don't love to click because I'm not good at it. And my game plan's a little different because it is a lot of work.
yeah, yeah. And so what we're planning to do, we're planning to create an abstraction where all you need to do is pay the arbitrary number of gas dollars, and then the contract will create underneath the private addresses that belong to you, but you will not even see them. So they will be there, they will be minting, but they will be spun up based on the total dollar amount you're willing to pay for gas. Like let's say that $2.50 is too cheap for you and you want to spend $100 or $200. You'll be able to specify that, and what will happen is that the contract will then say, okay, I can do that many addresses for this master address and start parallel minting based on the gas fees that are allowed by by that person. And so that will level the playing field for people who are good with programming and who are writing scripts and who are running multiple transactions. But it also will make it safer because you will not need to fund multiple wallets. So everything will be done by the contract. So the funding will just happen automatically, and you will not accidentally lose your funds if you send it to the wrong wallet. And it's going to be obviously open source. It's going to be on chain, immutable, all the stuff we love.
Yeah, and I want to point out that every single pair that I trade, or buy, really, not really trade, kind of just like buy with ETH. There's our bots between Hedron, Icosa, and Hex already. I can tell you that because when I do a buy on one of them, the other side goes up without anyone being at their computer. It doesn't happen. People are not staring at their computer when I buy. There's 300 transactions in a day. They're not sitting there waiting for my $1,000 buy. I'm sorry. They're
Yep.
just not. But the bots are because there's ROI there and it's automatic. And there's some smart guys that know how to do that. And that's why I tell people all these uncomfortable truths about some of this stuff. It's like when Hex came out, when ETH came out, when Bitcoin came out, there were bots, bros. Our bots are like elementary to these dudes because it's not complicated. It just seems complicated because you don't know the industry enough. Like me. Like I remember a year ago, I was like, oh, bots, man. That's like nuclear, you know, robotics. No, it's not. You copy and paste some code on your computer and you press run.
Yeah.
And it's that simple. So we need to like make education critical. I'm going to ask you, first of all, your interview that you did earlier with whoever the heck that was incredible, and he is incredible. Who is
Yeah, he's
that
a good
guy?
dude. His name is Alex, and he just found me on Twitter. And he does some, I think it's called a tactical investor or something like that. And yeah, he has some really good questions. And uh, yeah, so I really enjoyed being on the show with him. He will stream from his own. It's a Monday stream for him, so he's gonna launch it on Monday. But I placed it on my official YouTube channel, so everybody can see it right now.
Sorry, I muted myself. Yeah, so this has been yeah, what were you just saying? Yeah. Fuck, what was that point we just had?
About Alex and being
Oh my
amazing.
God, that I love that guy's questions. I hope more guys like that are hitting you up. I hope hundreds and millions of guys like that show up. I really
Yeah,
do.
and I think they're showing up right now. They're scheduled for next week.
Well, good. And if you can talk to him and say, you follow that gym rat dude, I want to talk to that guy. I want to have him on my show at some point. No, I
Yeah,
got
yeah.
plenty of
I'll
time.
I'll pass it along to him, of course.
And it's nothing about the views. It's nothing about anything. I can't find too many guys that are open minded, and I could smell it on him, open minded.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, for sure.
and I really like that. It's refreshing right now. Let's talk about for 1 second. For the people that are new-ish and like kind of like in the weeds, there's a button that you're creating. When you click it, it will give you the opportunity to open some wallets and maybe like distribute your money in a different way, a little faster, a little bit less work. Can you touch on that for a second? Because that's something I'm interested in. And that's something because I do, I got $500, $600. I'd like to speculate, but again, I'm lazy with it. I'm just
Yeah,
not.
so that's gonna be a manager contract, on chain, no admin keys, open source. It will have all of the proper contracts written in it. So you will be able to choose how much gas you're spending, and that contract will then allocate and optimize your mint on the chain. So rather than sending the funds to each contract, you can just have the funds in your hardware wallet. By the way, use hardware wallet. Sign the transaction once, and it goes to create multiple wallets, but it's held by blockchain and not by you. And then you have the keys to the blockchain records using your master wallet. So that is safer rather than sending funds everywhere and then clicking your button a million times. And also levels the playing field for everybody out there who want to spend a little bit more gas.
Absolutely. Like, and I'm gonna bring up Richard because you brought up some amazing points about Richard, and like I really like that you highlighted that you respect the man like you do every time you talk about him. I know you reiterate it, but it's an important topic because a lot of us want the truth, and a lot of us, frankly, don't know the truth. And for some of you guys who are more experienced, like you, like Richard, sometimes the truth is a little more clear, a little bit more like, yeah, this has always been the truth. Like the truth is always, it's like a little more clear, but we get so involved. You mentioned Richard, you mentioned the respect. I want synergy, and I want synergy now. And I want Hex to work out. And I mean long term. When I say workout, guys, I'm not saying things don't. Everything pumps in the bull run. Like if you don't think Zen is going to just blow your face off in the bull run, but again, that does not mean you should be buying it on Uniswap at all. Period. End of story. If you're not skilled, but do you know what I'm saying? I want synergy, and I want more users, and I want more people that are more active and more educated. And I thought that's what we were all fighting for, frankly. But I'm not certain. Or the bear market just makes people stressed out.
I think 100%. But ultimately, what's happening here is that people are extremely passionate about what they believe in, and sometimes their beliefs get challenged because sometimes different things work differently, sometimes worse, sometimes better. And I think it suits us to have an open mind so that we can all be successful.
I just want like we're so close, Jack. And I'm not talking about Zen. I'm not talking about Hex. I'm not talking about nothing. We're close, man. We're close to people getting a grip and some leaders coming in here and really stepping up. You know what I mean? We're close. And you know but no one can really understand that. I met you. I kind of understood. We talked a little bit more like one on one. So it was much more clear to me. But that's not everyone's experience. Now, when it comes to like future long term projections for DeFi in general. Can you give us some big brain stuff about like legislation? Like, are they just going to tax the crap out of us? Worst case scenario, because we've been hearing all this propaganda about the SEC and employment and all this stuff. And frankly, I'm just confused about it. And sorry if I got off topic.
Yeah, sure. I think GBDC is going to be an interesting play, and I'm curious what they plan to do and how they plan to give it to the world or to the people, and perhaps uh, one of the laws that they could come up with, and I hope they're not listening so that they wouldn't get those ideas. What they may do is they may say, okay, you want to trade crypto, you have to hold the government's cryptocurrency and only make trades with that cryptocurrency so that we can track it.
How and is that jurisdiction related? And I'm
Well, I
sorry, I
mean,
don't want you to get into a car accident or anything, Jack.
no, it's fine, it's fine. Well, that could be obviously jurisdiction related. I mean, any country could come up with their own stable government-sponsored cryptocurrency that they will track you with, and then they may pass a law and they say, okay, you love crypto, that's fine, but if you're loving crypto so much, then you have to buy or convert your fiat to the digital government-sponsored currency, and then only use that to trade or to swap,
Oh,
so
to
that
trade
they
back to your bank.
not to the bank. Like you wanna buy something else, like you wanna buy Uniswap or Uni. Buy digital dollars first from your bank or whatever, and then use that so that we can watch you doing a trade on Uni.
So basically, they're
And
going to take ETH out of the equation, or like the native asset out of like this. It's going to be more like more stable coin action, more regulation.
well, I think they would want to track people where if you have a wallet that may have to be KYC'd so that they know what trades you're making, so that the IRS does not need to hunt down and do the allow self disclosure, but more like it's going to be on chain with your name on it. That would be bad. Would be bad. I wouldn't want that to happen, but that is certainly, I think, some countries would be able to do that. I mean, maybe China is doing it right now. Who knows?
Well, China, if I was in China, I would be not happy personally with my cryptocurrencies. But I don't know the specifics there. I want to talk about, I understand everything you said there makes a lot of sense. And I think that you just kind of shine some light on it where people don't like to shine it. But you know, you did it. It's a normal thing. It's more normal than you think, guys. These governments aren't going to give up control in one way or the other. They're either going to buy up most of the supply or make you buy their crap. Something's going to happen. You know what I mean? Let's
Yeah.
talk. Let's go back to Zen and let's go back to people. You know, Richard tweeted that he said, "Are people apologizing yet for telling people to buy a coin that's going to zero, like close to zero?" And I said, "What? There was nothing in that statement that made any logical sense to me, frankly." And it worries me that there's like a little scare tactic there for some of the guys. I'm kind of like, dude, we told people, and then I quoted it and I said, we told people to mint and we told people to chill and we told people to learn and we spent very little US dollar. There's nothing better than that, Jack.
So, so this is my response to that would be is that unless he mentions Zen by the ticker symbol or tags me, that statement is totally fine statement, to live with. I don't think he's talking about Zen. I think he's talking about anybody out there who is shilling shit coins and then ending up getting people wrecked. I would totally agree with that message.
Yeah, I agree with that message too, frankly. As far as the like, I'm very particular, Jack, and people don't need to trust me, right? Like when you watch my channel, it's okay if you think I'm a doof and don't know a damn thing. That's really okay. But I also only talk about specific things. In my life, I have only bought Bitcoin, Ethereum, Hex, minted Zen, and bought BNBP one time. And
Yeah,
BNBP did 500%, and it was a friend of mine who launched it, so I had some good insight on it. It was cool. And it was
yeah.
and he's a Hexagon, day one Hexagon. Dude's loaded. I was like, this is great. Like, this is a cool product. He wants to change the game here, blah, blah, blah. I liked it. And then, but it was launching on Pulse Chain. And that's how I learned about it, because I learned the tokenomics by reading the white paper. And then he said, oh, Pulse Chain's going to be too long. I want to switch to Binance so I can get this thing going. And I said, what a great idea. I said, come on, let's go. More users, more people. It exploded. It exploded, and we're doing a show tonight about it, and we're excited about it. And then Richard directly said he unfollowed me because of Binance, my Binance tweet, which is fine. Totally fine, dude. Like, if you don't, oh my God, that's totally fine. Like, I am not, that is what he really believes in, I'm sure. Like, he probably believes that long term is not a good investment and that he might be right, but I'm not really putting it in that light. So if you watch my show and you trust me and you listen to me all the time, you'll get a good perspective on how I feel about these things. But I'm not spending more than $1,000 on some of these things
Yeah,
ever.
I think anytime you tell anybody, look at the coin, you should have a disclaimer, do your own research. Even if the project is amazing and it's gonna do great, it doesn't mean it's gonna do great today. It may actually end up dumping right that very second when you buy it. So that's just the truth and facts in markets. So, and people should just really separate themselves from being the swing traders or day traders or just traders versus somebody who is interested in long-term applications and want to be part of the project by holding their coins. So that is very different type of approach. And if you approach it from that perspective, then the reality is that the single day dumps not going to matter. Like similarly with Hex, when it dumped the first time 90%, 95, people who were staked, it didn't matter to them. It just went up and ended up making all-time highs. That is perfectly fine approach, and that is actually one of the positive things about Hex that I would always talk about is that it teaches people that sometimes it's good to participate in the DeFi enabled protocol that allows you to make long-term gains and to participate in the community and understand what this protocol stands for, rather than swing trading it daily and then ending up losing all of your money.
Yes, I cannot stand when people go in and out of positions super quick, unless they're just buying an asset that they like. It's like, I don't take any money out of crypto, but I don't put all my money into crypto, if that makes sense. Like, I have more money that I could spend if I had a speculation that I wanted to spend it on. But generally, I have enough gains from just the hype in crypto in general where I could just move something around 10% and then I have a new position somewhere else, which I'm excited about. And I don't have to think about it much more than that.
Yeah,
Um,
and so when people ask me about Zen, I feel good about talking about Zen because you spend $2, $3, and you mint it. It's a free coin. You don't buy it from me. You don't buy it from anybody. You don't have to buy it. You can just mint it. So everybody should be minting for the next well, 8 years, because afterwards you can still mint it, but it's just not going to be a lot.
yes, 100%. Is there anything else that you want to tell people before we let off about like any specific safety stuff, anything about Zen, anything, as far as like people interacting with it directly?
Uh, I think it's a great experiment. I think it's going really well. I think it's uniting a lot of people in terms of, and also allowing people to explore other chains. So people told me that they have never been on Polygon and now they're on Polygon because they like to play with it. And Zen gave them a reason to be there. And then somebody's 12-year-old now has a wallet and they're minting Zen. Like all of my friends' kids, they're also minting Zen on different chains. So they're
Do these
getting
kids get
exposure to.
old? Do these kids get older, Jack, or do they stay the same age forever? I think they get older and become young adults, and then they have a bunch of crypto, and then they learn about what the best thing for them is over time.
Well, it's like this. If you start in crypto and you're starting it not from the trading perspective or even investing perspective, but participation where you're actually learning what a secure blockchain is and how to do self-custody. If that's the first thing you learn about, then you will be safer in your adult life because you will have the base elements that will keep you safe. And it can also help other people to be safer too, because those new people in crypto, they will say what's right and what's not.
100%, 100%, 100%. And like in my valuation, I'm like, I see mature investors with a lot of money and good income coming to Uniswap and coming to Ethereum and coming to Pulse Chain and some of these, like, I see that in my head because I can see how like the kids interact with stuff. And I like that in the future. I like those people learning. I like those people thinking. I think they'll come to the same decisions as I did to find chains that have really good products on them that do different things. Now, before we go, is for all the builders in the chat and for me, because at some point I want a team too. I don't know if I want to build anything in particular, but I want to be able to. Um, what would you like to see, or maybe a suggestion for people, like just suggestion, like no one's got to do anything, obviously, for building in the future? Any ideas or pockets that you looked at and you said, hey, I bet someone will capitalize on that?
Well, I would say the number one uh, opportunity right now is that given that there's so many people jumping onto this crypto, if you're running a DeFi protocol, it should be accepting Zen. So we have some people out there who are building DeFis that take Zen for staking, and then they're paying APY with their own coin. So Popcorn.network is one of those that's implementing Zen right now. I also talked with somebody in Utah. They have something called Giddy, GDDY. They're planning to do something as well. Talking to them right now. And there's a bunch of people that I'm not even talking to, and they're just sending me their proposals and saying, "Hey, what if I do this and what if I do that?" I'm like, "Yeah, of course." And what they get in return is that they get access to the network of all the people that minted Zen. So now people who minted free coin can do something with it and get engaged with other interesting projects because they're going to be, well, cross-promoting everything. So we will be promoting them if we believe that they're not scammers. Obviously, I don't want to be promoting any scammers, and they will be promoting Zen as an onboarding uh, token, community building token, and they get exposure to the uh, crypto people at large.
Yeah, great, amazing. I'm so excited. People are building. Real quick as well. Shoot, I just had a point. Oh, the chain. So I want to talk about security for a second, and I want to talk about the price of ETH. I mean, the price of the native asset on each one of these chains and how that kind of changes the dynamic. And I'm not talking about a system state copy here, guys. I'm talking about a launch on a chain. So can you tell me about that? Because I'm not paying any fees for my ETH W stuff, obviously, but on my ETH I am paying fees. And so I would like to ask you, does that mature the system? Does that change the dynamics, etc.?
Launching on the new chain does not change anything. You just get access to another chain, and you will buy their token and
But the
play with
fees,
it.
I mean, like some fees are just like 1 penny, and then some fees are like
Yeah,
20.
so you end up minting more Zen because there's less work you need to do with your money. And for example, the difference between Ethereum and Binance or BSC is about 15 times. So you should be able to, in the future, trade 15 Zen for 1 Zen on Ethereum.
Dude, dude. I know that's true, but like that's wild.
I mean,
But
well, that's how it's supposed to work.
right, well that's yeah, frankly, I mean, with what we already know, that's how it will play out. It's just the time in the middle that can be variable. Because it's speculative market. So yeah, I've noticed that. I've noticed on ETH POW I can buy a good. Oh, the first higher high I saw. I saw the first higher high today in Zen history on who said it? Someone said, was it on ETH or ETH POW? But that means for the whole entire day, it went up and then it stayed up for the whole day. And I was like in my head, whether it dumped again or whatever, I was thinking, yeah, it's getting a little butt on it. It's getting a little tap on the ass on it on the other side. What do you think? Do you think some of these more mature supplies will kind of get a little more circulating supply, have a little more trading action a little quicker with some
I
people
think
getting involved?
I think it's all completely random at this point. There's just so much supply out there and different people jumping in and out. So there's like really no reason to believe that it's going to continue. It is inflationary. I mean, like, dude, think Shiba Inu, think Doge. That's the dynamic we should be expecting here. Except uh, you're making your own crypto. You're not buying it. You can make it, and so dynamic is a little bit different. All right, dude, I have to jet, picking up my daughter from
Thank
school.
you so
So
much for coming on the show and popping on. You made everything more clear and more make sense for me.
awesome. Thanks, GRC. Let's talk soon.
Let's talk real soon. And guys, we got 2 launches. That's your man, Jack Levin, 21st employee at Google. picking up his kids and doing bench press just like normal bros. All right, I'll have a great day, sir.
Thanks. Bye.
I'm gonna play boom.